What's up everybody, I'm Jason, and welcome back to another video looking at some tips and tricks for the Canon EOS R5C. So in this video, I'm going to look at the R5C's shutter speed modes. So the R5C in video mode provides users with 5 different shutter speed modes to choose from. These are speed, angle, clear scan, slow, and off. Though most users will probably end up sticking to either speed or angle depending on their background and goals. But to start this tour off, I'm going to start with the off setting. Setting the shutter mode to off doesn't magically remove the shutter speed or from being a factor or something incredible like that. Instead, it simply sets the shutter speed to be equal to the reciprocal of the frame rate. In other words, if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, the shutter speed will be 1/24th of a second. If you're shooting at 60 frames per second, then the camera sets the shutter speed to 1/60th of a second. Or if you're familiar with shutter angles or that you're more comfortable with that, it sets the shutter angle to 360 degrees. Now, of course, this raises a very good question, which is why would you set the shutter mode to off? And the answer to that, at least the one that I have, is simple. I have no idea. Personally, I see no compelling reason to use this mode at all. The shutter speed is dependent on the frame rate, like it is if you set it to angle, but you have no control over the shutter speed beyond changing the frame rate, so that limits your creative options and ability to adjust for exposure issues. Additionally, the choice of shutter speed that Canon uses in off seems a bit odd to me, as it doesn't match the 180-degree rule for shutter angles either. That said, I'm always open to learning something new, so if you do use this mode and you have a good reason for it, let me know in the comments below what and why and how it works for you. So the next mode I'll look at is slow. The slow shutter speed mode enables the shutter shoot at speeds that are slower than the currently selected frame rate. Now, the intent of this, at least as far as I can see it, is to enable shooting when it's too dark for standard shutter speeds while maintaining real-time playback and full audio recording capabilities. However, this comes at the cost of reducing the effective frame rate, so your video will become more jumpy, as the exposure for the slow shutter speed will be duplicated across as many recorded video frames as needed to equal the actual exposure time. So for example, if you're shooting with a shutter speed of 1/12th of a second and a frame rate of 24 frames per second, then each exposed frame will be repeated for 2 file frames to ensure that the recording plays back in real time. Now, while it's possible to get similar shutter speeds using the slow and fast motion recording mode, the overall effect is very different. So using slow shutter mode in the normal recording mode will produce video that plays back in real time with the full audio recording capabilities of the camera. However, a video shot in slow and fast motion mode at a lower frame rate to match the slower shutter speed will play back faster than real time unless corrected for by your NLE. Additionally, you will not have access to the R5C's full audio recording capabilities. Now, the slow shutter mode is unavailable when using slow and fast motion recording and when the viewfinder is set to run at 2x speed. Finally, the shutter speeds you can select will vary with the current frame rate or the currently selected frame rate to maintain even multiples. Now, the third option in this tour is the clear scan setting. And clear scan allows you to adjust the shutter speed in fine increments so that the camera shutter can be synced with a scanning display, like a CRT, or flickering lights so that the camera doesn't record the flicker. Now, traditionally, this would have been used to sync the camera with CRT monitors to avoid scanning black bars or other flicker artifacts. However, in a more modern context, the clear scan function can be used to minimize the banding caused by some poorly designed LEDs and those that are being controlled or dimmed with PWM capabilities. However, this may not always work or be a complete solution when shooting in the field, especially if there are multiple light sources flickering at different frequencies. Now, in clear scan mode, you can choose a shutter speed between 23.98 Hz to 1998 Hz when the camera is set to the 59.94 Hz mode, or between 24 Hz and 2003 Hz when the camera is set to either 24 or 50 Hz mode. Now, the main difference between clear scan and either speed or angle is that the shutter speed can be adjusted in much finer increments. This is all about fine adjustments that enable you to sync the camera shutter to an external light's flicker and not about making major exposure changes. In fact, if you have to make major exposure changes in clear scan, expect or be prepared for a lot of dial twirling. Now, the last two options here are easily the most familiar to most photographers and videographers, and those are speed and angle. So the first of these is speed. Now, if you're coming to the R5C from still cameras, regardless of brand, you'll instantly recognize what this is and what's going on here. In this mode, you control the shutter speed in terms of absolute time of exposure by setting a shutter speed that's a fraction of a second. So, for example, 1/30th of a second or 1/60th of a second. Now, the absolute range that the R5C can use for the shutter speed mode goes from 1 second to 1/2000th of a second. And speeds throughout this range can be selected in either 1/3 or 1/4 stop increments. Additionally, the R5C is also capable of selecting shutter speeds that reflect standard shutter angles at various frame rates. For example, this includes things like 1/48th or 1/120th instead of the 1/50th and 1/125th that you would end up using on most other hybrid cameras. Now, to get to these settings, you will need to change the shutter speed increment to 1/4 stop steps instead of 1/3 stop steps. That said, the minimum shutter speed in any given mode depends on the currently selected frame rate, shooting mode, and whether the EVF is set to run at 2x speed or not. So generally speaking, with the viewfinder set to a standard update rate, so not 2x, the minimum shutter speed will be the reciprocal of your currently selected frame rate, or equal to a 360-degree shutter angle. So for example, if you set the camera to shoot at 60 frames per second, then the minimum shutter speed you can select will be 1/60th of a second. If you're shooting at 1 frame per second in slow and fast motion mode, then the slowest shutter speed you would be able to select is 1 second. Now, the final shutter speed option on the R5C is angle. If you're already familiar with shooting cinema cameras or video cameras, then you probably already know what's going on here. However, if you're not, this one may take a little explaining to wrap your head around. Now, for this explanation, we have to take a step back to film cameras and the mechanical shutters that were in them. So if you've ever seen a slow-mo of a still camera shutter, be it in film or digital, the shutter mechanism uses two curtains made up of several leaves or blades. When you press the shutter release, the first curtain opens, exposing the film to light, and at the end of the exposure, a second curtain moves up to cover the film, ending the exposure. The two curtains then reset and the film is advanced to the next frame and the whole thing is ready to go again. Now, this works fine for a still camera where the frame rates and duty cycles are low enough that even this complex mechanical system could last for tens of thousands of frames and potentially therefore years of use. However, in a movie camera, the demands are significantly higher. So to start with, the movie camera needs to be able to shoot at frame rates that, even now, are higher than what still camera mechanical shutters are generally capable of. Consider, for example, that the shutter on the R5 and R5C is rated for 500,000 frames. At 24 frames per second, it would be expected to last for only about 6 hours of constant shooting. And of course, back in the dawn of the movie era, still camera shutters weren't rated for anywhere near 500,000 clicks. Anyway, to accomplish this feat, movie cameras used a rotary disc as a shutter instead. With the disc shutter, instead of a complicated process of curtains opening and closing and resetting, the shutter was simply a disc with a hole in it that rotated in sync with the film advance. As the missing piece of the shutter moved between the lens and the film, light could pass through and the exposure took place. Since the disc was circular, it was natural to express the exposure time as the angle covered by the open part of the disc. Now, of course, since the disc is synchronized with the camera's frame rate, this means that changing the frame rate also changes the exposure time. Now, while the R5C doesn't have a rotating disc in it for the shutter, and for that matter, all of the exposures internally and under the hood electrically are timed like a shutter speed, the shutter angle mode gives us all of the same behaviors as that rotating disc shutter did in the past. So on the R5C, the selectable shutter angles aren't unlimited. Instead, they can be set to 11 1/4, 15, 22 1/2, 30, 45, 60, 90, 120, 180, 240, and 360 degrees, as well as the equivalent angle that corresponds to a speed of 1 1/20th, 1 100th, 1 60th, 1 50th, 1 40th, 3 100ths, 1 30th, and 1 125th. Now, of course, the latter speed settings will correspond to different shutter angles when the camera is set to different frame rates, so it won't be entirely obvious which ones they are unless you do the math. As with all of the shutter speed modes, the available shutter angles also depend on camera settings, especially whether the viewfinder is set to run at 2x speed. In that case, the shutter angles are limited from 180 degrees or faster. So that's the technical explanation of the different shutter modes. And of course, I'm obviously a big fan of understanding the technical stuff, as I believe it empowers you, the end user, to make the best decisions for your specific situation and not blindly doing what somebody in a YouTube video says you should. However, that said, let's talk a little bit about when you'd want to use these settings. So to start with, as I said earlier, I don't see any reason to set the shutter mode to off. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But again, I'm always open to learning, so if you do use the off mode, let me know in the comments below. Now, both slow and clear scan are specialized tools that really make sense in specific circumstances. For clear scan, you'll want to consider using it in situations where you can't get the camera to sync with a flickering light source and otherwise can't replace the light source. Likewise, slow, like super high ISO settings, is there for when you need to have footage in very low light, and it's more important to have the footage than having good footage. Now, the real question, I think, for most people, or at least those who are just getting into the R5C and cinema cameras in general, is which of the two should you choose between when it comes to angle or speed? And to that end, here's a couple of things that I consider worth considering. So first is simple. Are you shooting with multiple cameras? Now, if you are, and the cameras have different capabilities for how to set shutter speeds, then using whatever shutter speed mode is used across all the gear you're using can make things easier to manage. So for example, I shoot with an R5 and an R5C, and the R5 only supports shutter speeds, not angles. So if I want to make my life easy when I'm shooting with both of the cameras, then setting the R5C to speed would let me set the cameras using the same units, for lack of a better way to put it. The other way to look at this is akin to how you might look at the differences between shutter and aperture priority auto exposure modes. That is, what is the effect of the setting in the broader creative picture? So in this vein, speed mode could be thought of as being time priority. In this mode, you set an exposure time, say 1/60th of a second, and you do so in absolute terms. That 1/60th is always going to be 1/60th regardless of what frame rate you set the camera to. Now that means that regardless of the chosen frame rate, the exposure won't change when you change frame rates. However, because exposure time controls motion blur, and motion blur is necessary in video to ensure a smooth-looking image, when in speed mode, the amount of motion blur doesn't compensate as the frame rate does. That is, shooting at lower frame rates, which need more blur from a longer exposure to have the same fluidity as a faster frame rate with a shorter blur, that's not happening automatically. Now, on the other hand, in angle mode, the camera will change the exposure time in seconds when you change the frame rate, but it will keep the proportion of the frame that's exposed constant. So switching from 60 frames per second to 24 frames per second would result in an exposure change, but it would also result in more blur in each frame at the slower frame rate, which would be needed to ensure that frame rate looks really fluid. So what do I use? Well, Truth is, I always have my R5C set to angle. Even though I also shoot with an R5 and other hybrid cameras that lack an angle capacity, it just seems like a better way to work to me. So for starters, it's what most cinema and serious video productions are going to be shot in. So that, to me at least, it makes sense that if I ever want to work in that landscape, I ought to be familiar with working in terms of shutter angle instead of just shutter speed. More practically though, I switch between 24 frames per second and slow motion shot at 60 or 120 frames per second quite regularly. When the camera is set to angle, the shutter speed is automatically adjusted when I change frame rates, which ensures that when the video is played back at the normal 24 frames per second I play back at, that motion blur that I'm getting in all of my images keeps things looking fluid. Moreover, from a simple mechanical perspective, if I used speed, I'd also need to manually adjust the shutter speed every time I change the frame rate, and quite honestly, that's just more work that doesn't have a whole lot of benefit to me. So there you go, the shutter speed modes on the EOS R5C. Now if you found this useful or at least a bit informative, let me know by hitting that like button. If this kind of thing seems like it might be your kind of thing, please consider subscribing if you're not already. Additionally, if you know someone or just have a good outlet on social media that you think people might find this useful, share it with them. It helps you, it helps me, and it makes you look like a hero in the process. It's a win all the way around. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.